this is sort of indicative of how lost the Tucker Carlsons are of the world are right now. In that, and we'll look at a piece of this. I don't know if we'll get through the whole thing because I don't really care all that much. But the title is intriguing in that it says, Tucker, Americans won't forgive Joe Biden for this, whatever this is. It's so vague that it's meant to be clickbait, but at the same time, it doesn't make any promises, so it can't technically let you down.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Tucker Carlson tonight.
Aren't they all special?
I like wood.
All right.
It's hard to have a lot of faith in political polling, obviously, especially after the last couple of presidential elections. The polls weren't just wrong in the
But now that they're low for Biden, they must be right.
Elections, they were insane. They told us things like, oh no, Hillary could take Texas and Joe Biden's a lock to win Florida. In the end, those predictions had no relationship to observable reality.
Yeah, I don't know anybody ever said Joe Biden was a lock to win Florida.
That doesn't mean that all polling is worthless. Actually,
No, some polling is just right.
Deeper and longer. I like wood.
All right.
Relative measure over time, polls can provide a lot of historical context. So Joe Biden's polls are in the toilet right now. Everyone knows that. And the question is why? You'll hear a lot.
Well, because we came out of Afghanistan and everybody was pretending that there was actually another way of getting out of Afghanistan that wasn't completely fucked. And he had the bravery to do it. And a lot of people just don't like the mess he was making in cleaning up everybody else's mess, which is, that would be the lazy part of the viewer of stations like this. And then, of course, on top of that, the idea that inflation is somehow his fault because of supply chain and all those kind of things, and you guys downplaying basically everything about him in an attempt to sort of have revenge for how you perceived Trump was treated during his presidency. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter. It matters not. This too shall pass.
People say, well, it was Afghanistan, the true debacle that Biden oversaw in Afghanistan.
What debacle? The deaths that occurred in Afghanistan are completely on Trump's shoulders because the work he refused to do before our withdrawal is what caused the bottleneck and the crush at the airport that led to that circumstance happening. Prove me wrong. His hamstringing of the SIV process alone created the circumstance that we found ourselves in. He did zero preparations for the drawdown. As a matter of fact, if you listen to him, he was lying about it the whole time and intended to stay.
The question is that really it, however? Is a foreign policy disaster enough to knock a president off his game in his first year in office? Well, here are some comparisons. Gerald Ford's approval ratings after the fall of Saigon. Those would be worth looking at. The fall of Saigon was the most humiliating moment in this country's history up until that time.
Yeah, except he was taking over for fucking Nixon. Nixon was the worst part of that administration, and everybody had been trying to get out of Vietnam that whole time, and we lost 50,000 plus Americans in that process. Afghanistan wasn't on that level.
World watched as America,
but it was like right. It happened just now, and also the comparisons between our getting out of there, which is Americans and people with those Americans trying to get on the helicopters that were leaving from the embassy, versus the two separate areas, which was Afghan citizens who aren't Americans leaving out one side of the airport and our folks leaving out the other, and none of our people didn't get on the plane that wanted to.
Ran from a peasant army. Civilians dangled from helicopters, taking off from the roof of the U.S. Embassy in Saigon.
Which didn't happen. And oddly enough, you're going to say probably that even then he didn't have as bad a numbers because he was the vice president who took over after Nixon fucked off.
It was a catastrophe, one that became an enduring symbol of the incompetence of our foreign policy establishment. The U.S. had spent more than a decade in Vietnam, lost close to 60,000 men, and after all of that, we ran away. And yet, in the days after the fall of Saigon, Gerald Ford's poll numbers, as measured by Gallup, actually went up. His approval rating...
Right, because it wasn't his fucking decision.
...increased from 39% to 40%. Then just a month later, by the end of May 1975, Ford's approval rating surged to 51%. So Gerald Ford, President Ford, oversaw an international embarrassment, but Americans gave him a pass. They weren't done with him.
Because the entire thing was an embarrassment, and they recognized that.
Yeah. Something very similar happened during the John F. Kennedy administration. Kennedy was in charge during the Bay of Pigs invasion in April of 1961, which he single-handedly turned into a disaster. That disaster made Fidel Castro a national hero in Cuba and drove Cuba even closer to the Soviet Union. All of this happened just before the Cuban Missile Crisis. So that was not a good thing for anybody. And yet, despite that, JFK's approval ratings did not drop. In fact, they went up from 78% to 83% in the days after the disaster.
It's almost as if when we didn't have 24-hour news all the time, fucking with everybody's heads and telling them a narrative that wasn't true constantly, people had a more sensible view of reality.
The Bay of Pigs happened in the first year of the Kennedy administration. The fall of Saigon happened in the first year of the Ford administration. So it's hard not to conclude that when presidents are just starting out, Americans give them a pass, even on the big things, especially in foreign policy. So with that in mind, it's worth taking a look at how Joe Biden's approval numbers have changed during his first year in office. And of course, it's an unequivocal disaster. According to a new Quinnipiac poll, only 36% of Americans approve of the job Joe Biden is doing in office. The Real Clear Politics polling average has Joe Biden doing only marginally better at about 41%. Gallup has Biden at 42%, down 15 points from just a couple of months ago. You should know that Kamala Harris's approval number is 28%, which is right around Jeffrey Dahmer level. So 2/3 of Americans do not want Joe Biden to run for president.
What's Pence's?
Again, and that includes most Democrats. Just 10 months into Biden's presidency, Americans want him gone. So as a historical matter, that's unheard of. How bad is it? It's gotten so bad that college students, typically not a right-wing demographic, are mocking Biden at football games.
Oh, yeah, because, and by the way, the fuck Joe Biden thing that, is largely a result of sort of right-wing areas of the country yelling this stuff. Let's see if I could find it was a lovely, because it didn't just, it'd be one thing if, I'd hate for Biden not to take this personally, but let's see, where are we? I'll have to look on my Twitter feed for where I posted something. Starts with getting your kid to yell fuck Joe Biden at a game because of that, and then all of a sudden you find him yelling fuck the Mormons. It's almost as if there's a shit ton of right-wing parents out there raising shitty kids with no class. And maybe recognizing that if their standards are so low that that's the way they go all the time, that their kids end up taking that as a cue that that's how you treat everybody. Yeah. The same kids yelling fuck Joe Biden are yelling fuck the Mormons at a Brigham Young game. Yeah,
So Biden is deeply unpopular. The question is why? How did we get here? That matters, and that's going to...
Yes, quality of life is... Look at the title of this. Quality of life is collapsing under Biden. Quality of life. Remember last year, your quality of life under Donald Trump?
Focus over the next hour on this show. What we're witnessing under the Biden administration is something Americans will absolutely not forgive: the decline in our standard of living.
That's what it is. Yeah, our standard of living, that's what it is. Americans are, granted, wages are going up and people are able to quit their low-wage jobs for salaried positions for the first time in forever. And even with inflation, people are, Black Friday and Cyber Monday set incredible records even over the year before the pandemic. But yeah, quality of life.
Hasn't simply embarrassed the United States internationally, though he's certainly done that. Americans can overlook that, as they did under Ford and JFK, and hope for something better next time. Biden has made living in this country much more difficult for millions of people. He's made it a lot.
Has he? Yeah, I mean, compared to 2020, it was pretty much a skate. You're right.
Harder for Americans to afford basic amenities, things like building supplies and gasoline.
Really? We're going back to lumber, Tucker? Building supplies? Fucking, we're still picking our news stories from shit that, like, right-wing talking points that died in June.
He showed almost no interest in fixing this. In fact, it's clear it's being done on purpose, because global warming.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, we're wrecking the economy on purpose. That's why. Yeah, that's why the leases in the Gulf went back online.
Local news station in Florida has talked to restaurant owners about the effect of rising food prices, for example. Watch this.
From chicken wings.
It's $140 a case versus what was $40.
To plastic gloves.
They've gone from $20 a case to $140 plus. And again,
Get fucked. Let's just look at a bunch of them. Here, here's a thousand pairs. Bulk apothecary. Is it America's fault you're a fucking terrible shopper? $100. There you go. For large, 1,000 of them. Case of 10 boxes, 1,000 gloves, $99.50. I guess that's what he's talking about. And by the way, he said 100. Sorry, what was it? They've gone to what? Sorry, they went to what, dude? Look at this. Okay, that's a box vinyl, powder-free vinyl, multi-purpose. How many? It doesn't say how many are in there. $140 for what?
$40 a case versus what was $40.
Okay, sorry. Case of chicken wings. We will check the price of a case of hot dog and bologna. He's not saying how much a case is. Tyson extra large uncooked marinated chicken wings. He's not saying how much. They're just showing a small bucket of them there. But a 10-pound bag of ready-to-cook frozen chicken wings is $38 on Instacart. That's retail. That's not a wholesale number. Usually the cases are 20 pounds a case. Okay, so there you go. Double that. $80. Used to be $40 for 10, and now it's $80 for
2 plastic
for
gloves.
They've gone from $20 a case to $140 plus. And again, sometimes
have they now? Have they? And here's the case, 140 plus. Well, these are mediums. Maybe mediums are more expensive. Let's see. Nope, same price. How about smalls? Nope, same price. Case of 10 boxes. And notice how, by the way, these fuckheads show you. Do they show you a case? No, they show you a box. Does anybody, honest to fucking God. How is a producer of something like this? And remember, this is Fox News. This is the one that's not supposed to be fake, right? $20. And look at this box. $20, dude, it used to be $20 for that box of shit. And now you got to pay $140
a case to
$140 plus for that box. Well, 10 of them. with 1,000 gloves in them to get all together, and not quite 140, but 100.
Plus. And again, sometimes it's hard to get those.
Nearly everything costs more.
Sometimes it's hard to get those. Let's see. You can, if he uses the promo code 15 off 250 on this site, you can get 15% off. And then I think they do, let's see, same day shipping, something like that. Let's see. This is Bulk Apothecary. This will be a different site. But let's see. Here's a case of 1,000. Here's $75. That's cheaper than the other ones. Here's the nitrite vinyl ones. This is on Amazon, of course. I don't know how much you can trust Jeff Bezos. But here's a box. Let's see. How many? 50 count in here. So you're obviously going to need a lot more than that. Style 50. Here's 1,000 pieces. $118 on Amazon. $118 on Amazon. Only 17 in stock. Order soon. Free delivery Monday. Sometimes it's hard to get those things, man. It's hard to get them. It's just hard to get them. Other things like ketchup and pepper, don't even try to get ketchup and pepper.
Horn on FRLA's executive committee also owns Anna Maria oyster bars. Supply issues are keeping favorites like Alaskan king crab legs and clam strips off the menu.
One of our most popular.
And I'm sorry, has the Biden administration limited fishing in any of these fucking places?
Items. Can't get them from anyone.
According to the
Wholesale food prices, producer price index, all foods. 2021. Look at that. And look at the little drop there. This guy went below last year, but okay, let's, yeah, they were cheap last year. Now they're this much more over the top this year, and they're below last year. All right. I see. And it's almost like they were heading in that direction, and if it wasn't for COVID, they would have resetting the number. It'd be up here. Let's see. Bureau of Labor Statistics, wholesale food prices, producer price index, all foods. Percentage change versus same month in previous year. Fucking hell. Do we have to do the year-over-year bullshit every goddamn time? Yeah, it's a percentage from last year when it dipped below here. If it was a percentage change from here, it'd be the exact same fucking thing. Without this dip, you don't get that spike. If it was, look at this business. Did anybody give Trump a bunch of shit in 2019? Doink, when that went up before the world cratered? By the way, this is the beginning of the recession in the beginning of 2020 that everybody was talking about, that he pretends didn't happen. Year over year, baby. That's what they get you.
Bureau of Labor Statistics, major commodities in the wholesale food price index are way up.
Yeah, tell me the actual note for note cost, dollar for dollar. What was the price in 2018, 2019, 2020, and this year?
Last year, beef rose 57.7%, fat and oils nearly 50%, eggs almost 40%, and
dear God, eggs are up 40%. Let's see. Should we do this one? Just we've done a couple of these in the past, but why not? Egg prices. Let's see. Egg news report. Let's see. Let's do egg prices 2019. Yeah. Let's see. Monthly table egg production. Okay, hold on. Egg pricing. National conventional retail prices. The Easter bump. Hold on. I have to find the overall chart. Let's see. 2019 to 2021. Yeah, you can see it's just horrifying. Okay. Weekly loose shell egg white national index. Now this is let's see, to organic, cage-free, caged, lay rate, table leg, layer flock by production system versus average lay rate. Hello. Let's all right, hold on. Egg market, let's see. Egg farm price received, Y chart producer price index, consumer price for me. Let's see. Up 10.5% for year end September 2021. Okay, where's this? All food items, all food away from home, meats, poultry, fish, and eggs would be this gray line. Let's see. These are the percentages. So these are up from, this is, whoops. Dude, quit it. I only want to see one of them, you jerk. All right, hold on. That's Bureau of Labor Statistics. Let's see. U.S. egg industry should be cautious and flexible in 2021. There you go. U.S. corn, okay, that's corn. That's for feeding these things. Production estimates 2020. Millions and dozens. So production is down 0.25% in quarter one. It's up 1% and up 3% from quarter three. No word on quarter four. We're in that right now. Overall, the estimation is that we'll be up 1.6% in production. Wholesale egg prices in 2020, they're down this year. Wait, what? USDA U.S. wholesale egg price estimates. Okay, this is the estimate. Quarter one, when did this come out? This has got to be from last year. When is this? Like the expectation? December 10th, 2020. So this is the expectation for this year. U.S. corn and soy meal. There you go. This was the expectation that it would, overall they'd be down 0.5% over the year for the wholesale cost of eggs. Sons of bitches. If they're just jacking up prices to make up egg price in the U.S. 2021. U.S. dollar 267. This is the average because organics are $4. Global price index. Oh. Switzerland's getting fucked on eggs. $6.44 U.S. for 12 eggs. Norway, Austria, Australia, South Korea's $4.50, Italy, Sweden, Ireland, Israel's $3.28. USA's way down here at $2.67. We're 23rd on the list of the cost of eggs. Huh. Let's see. Eggs, grade A cost. There we go. August. Okay. Cost per dozen. Fred. Economic data from Fred. Price in U.S. dollars. Hey, look at that. $3 in 2015. What the shit? When is this? September 2021, we're $1.83. September 2020, we were $1.35. So that's a huge jump. I mean, it's obviously lower than April of 2020, and it's lower than April of 2018. Do you think the Easter bump is a real thing, kids? When was this? September 2015, $2.96. Shit. Look at this. 2008, they were more expensive. But please tell me again how they're up 30%. You mean they're up 30% year over year from last year when they were unseasonably low? You know what? They're also way up from July of 2019. They're also up from June of 2017. They're also up from November of 2016. But they're, down from April and down from both of those April spikes. There's a lot of March, April spikes. There you go. April 269, 206. So we are, what's the price right now? $1.82. Let's see the closest one. So the last time, let's see. We're back to the same price it was in September 2007. Ever swallow a raw egg? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Hi. $1.68 for a dozen extra large in Oklahoma. These motherfuckers. And this isn't the wholesale price. This is the average retail price. In-city U.S. average. Going to the fucking store. This isn't what restaurants pay for fucking eggs. God damn, this is just dumb. What was the other one? Chicken wings or some shit? This was Wendy's Ranch. Fucking hell. Hold on. Beef is up 57%. Okay, let's look at beef costs. Inflation. Oh my God. Year over year. Beef prices are up 20% since last year. Here's why. Because of this bitch. Sorry. She's eating all the beef. Stop it. It's her fault. Yes.
5 eggs.
I'm sorry. Because of inflation, we can only afford...
Eat 2 eggs a day.
Right. Inflation surging consumer finances. The price of beef and veal increased 20% between October 2020 and October 2021. Recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows it's far outpacing the increasing price of pork, which is 14.1% more expensive than it was. Here's what's causing. How much more expensive beef? All meat prices are up, but beef prices are up disproportionately higher than the rest of the protein sources. Here's the increase. Beef and veal, 20%. Pork, 14%. Chicken, 8%. Fresh fish and seafood, 11%. Eggs, 11%. Why has beef gotten so expensive? Many of the factors that led to the beef's dramatic price increase can be traced back to 2020. Now, I mean, granted, I don't remember, and you probably don't either, remember who was president in 2020. It is totally slipped my fucking mind. When COVID shut down production plants and hobbled the nation's meat production capabilities. What? The slowdown left farmers with nowhere to send their beef, which resulted in them having to cull cattle and other livestock. That, coupled with uncertainty about the future, hi Amy, by the way, caused farmers to scale back their production at the time, which Sundaram says can affect production more than a year and a half down the road. That's why. Now, do you think these fuckheads who cut this thing together don't know that that's a year-over-year difference? By the way, the 20% rise. This is, let's see, that's going to be a gross story. Hold on. Open link, a new tab. Wasted milk, euthanized livestock. Photos show how coronavirus has devastated U.S. agriculture. May 2nd, 2020. Potatoes sit in storage facilities at Frey Farms in Moses Lake, Washington. Farmer holds a seed piece from Clearwater russet potato in recent planted potato field. Look at this. Russet Burbank potatoes sit in a storage facility at Free Farms in Moses Lake, Washington, because nobody could get them the fuck out because there are no workers. Farmers harvesting romaine, because that shit you can't let sit. Tractor plows under what could have been a spring mix, popular and widely distributed salad mix. Yeah, they plowed it under. They just ground it back into the earth. I have duck eggs, $3 a dozen. That's solid for duck eggs. With fresh harvest, wash their hands before work. A container of cucumbers is dumped onto a trailer at the Long Farm. Okay, Mountain Farm. Hank Scott, president of Long and Scott Farm, stands in a field of rotting cucumbers that he was unable to harvest due to a lack of demand on April 30th, 2020 in Mount Dora, Florida. Just the whole fucking crop died. Pile of zucchini and squash seen discarded by a farmer on April 1st, 2020. You know, when I don't remember who was even president. Do you? Shows planting corn on a farm. He farms with his father near Dwight, Illinois. Mild, dry weather has farmers in the state scrambling to get their fields planted. Tyson Fresh Meats plant employee leaves the plant. Young pigs in there. There's cows. There's a picture of other cows. There's milk gathered. Dairy farm in Lodi. People, chickens. Whoa. Chickens arrive by truck in Wayne Farms. Mushrooms, dude with Sisher displays yellow oyster mushrooms. are out there. Ribeye steaks sit in a stack in the meat department of the supermarket in Princeton. Lean ground beef, empty meat department cooler shelves await restocking of beef products during the COVID-19 pandemic at Walmart on Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. Well, which wouldn't happen because Trump sold the largest order of beef in our nation's history to China, and while Americans were in food lines. But who remembers that shit? And remember, 57% year over year when meat rotted on shelves.
7%, fat and oils, nearly 50%, eggs, almost 40%, and processed poultry, 30%. To offset that, menu prices on average are up 4.7%.
And people are still eating out like fucking crazy.
What is this exactly? We can't get enough food.
I know what it is. It's what we traditionally call a fucking lie, Tucker. You're a fucking liar. Your report is meant to manipulate people. It's what Trump used to call fake news, another thing that he said he made up, but he stole. Let's not forget Trump constantly talking about how he helped the farmers and his story about those not wanting any help. Yeah, absolutely. They don't want it. They just want to sell. They just want to sell their stuff. Thanks, Cartman. I do.
A lot of things are happening, and one of them is inflation. And inflation is not an act of God. It's the result.
By the way, you're not just hearing things. Tucker Carlson has a sinus infection or a nasal problem, and I think I know where he got it from. Hold on. I might be wrong, but we'll see. Hold on. Let's see. Library. Looking at the thing. History. See all. Rolling back this. There's got to be something in here. Maybe it's probably older than that. Hold on. No, that's probably it. Hold on. See if this is
that the did, and that's also the reason why there weren't really any videos last week. I do apologize, but if you missed it, Friday night I did do a live stream with my podcast co-host Marie talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, just because I was still.
That's Lauren Chen. She's a right wing. Like she's got her own channel, but she's on something else too. She's got a YouTuber or whatever. I'm not saying she's the girl that was at dinner with Tucker. She wasn't, clearly that woman wasn't. That one looked like his wife.
Of government policy. The Federal Reserve has devalued the U.S. dollar by printing too many U.S. dollars. Why are they printing them?
Devalued. Let's see. U.S. dollar. Let's see what they have they've devalued. They've devalued. Now this is probably an old story. They've devalued the U.S. They devalued. Dollar firmed on Monday. That sounds fun. The dollar firmed. Boing. On Monday, while the safe haven yen and Swiss franc weakened, reversing some of Friday's moves, the governments around the world sought to further information. Okay. But there's probably somebody else. Speculators net long U.S. dollar bets hit highest since mid-October. Net long bets on the U.S. dollar rose to the highest level since mid-October, according to calculations by Reuters and U.S. commodity futures released Monday. The value of the net dollar position was $22.11 billion for the week ended November, up from net longs of $18.30 billion in the previous week. U.S. dollar net long position rose for the first time in 7 weeks. That's what. So the dollar. So he's weakening. So Biden's positive. He's weak. The dollar is weakening. He's weakening it. I see. Okay. All right. Well, just no one in economics thinks that, but say it anyways. Who gives a shit?
To pay for more government spending that under the Biden administration is now literally out of control.
Well, no, it's actually in control. See, when you do infrastructure, you set up a structure where it's actually controlled spending. You know where the projects are. You know if they're completed. Instead of like farm subsidies that will kind of like will dole out, where you end up having two twin Brazilian billionaires who don't even live in the fucking country getting subsidies meant for American farmers when they've never set foot in the goddamn country except to go like, I'll buy it. That kind of stuff, that's uncontrolled. Infrastructure is really fucking controlled.
$10.1 trillion amount of spending obligations in fiscal year 2020. 10.1 trillion. 2009.
And by the way, we did just come out of a recession, and the reason it's obligatory is because of all the spending done during the Trump administration. The last 4 years, that's why we have to raise the debt. Right.
Which wasn't ancient history, it was the other day. The total was 6.6 trillion. Still a lot, but very different than 10.1. Now, the spending is, of course, on the way. More spending is on the way because we can spend any amount of money. We hold the world's reserve currency. Biden's so-called Build Back Better bill is estimated to cost another $5 trillion.
No, it's actually on paper currently 1.7 to 1.5, depending on what they agree on. The original one was 3.5, but you guys made up the $5 trillion number.
So the people who are printing this money, the U.S. Congress, the Fed specifically, know that they are making the problem worse, but they don't care. In fact, they're mocking you for noticing that your standard of living has declined. The St. Louis Fed is to release this statement. It's hard to miss the contempt here. This is real. Quote, a Thanksgiving dinner serving of poultry costs $1.42. A soybean-based dinner serving with the same amount of calories.
Leaders, why are you complaining?
Costs 66 cents and provides almost twice as much protein. End quote. Of course, being
okay. Hold on. I'm sure there's nothing more to this. It's it's just me. Just trying to let's see. St. Louis Fed. Now I don't know who the there's a guy who's like one of the senators from Missouri. It's skinny dude, not very manly. It looks like it looks like one of those head mannequins only on a hanger. You know what I'm talking about? I don't remember his name. Hee-haw, something like that. Garsh Holly, I think was his name. St. Louis Fed protein. It should be able to turn it up on that. The Fred blog. This is the time of the year to give thanks, and the Fred blog is thankful for the rich variety of data series and data sources available in Fred. In past years, we've tapped data from the International Monetary Fund, U.S. Let's start with data literacy appetite. Fred graph plots the amount of quarterly global prices of poultry, including turkey and orange and soybeans, the main ingredient in tofu, in grain, as reported by the International Monetary Fund. Savor the fact of Notice how relatively stable the prices of both commodities are from quarter to quarter. Even though the data are not seasonally adjusted, the prices do not regularly increase or decrease during a calendar year. We can thank global supply for both the commodities. Okay, when is this? That's, November 18th, 2021. That's when this is. Here we go. This is global price of poultry, raga-da-daga, overtook the global price of soybeans. And now they're kind of in, they've done the kind of jack and split in there. I don't know when this was. When was this? Quarter 3, 2012. Yeah, so soybeans is where it was in 2014. And poultry was actually higher in 2018 in a global price. Who gives a shit? Let's see. Hearty Thanksgiving dinner serving costs $1.42. A Tofurky soybean dinner serving the same amount of calories costs $1.66 and provides almost twice as much protein. Keep in mind that this plant-based meal would be almost 3 times larger by weight than the poultry-based meal and may either keep you at the dinner table longer or provide you with more leftovers. Of course, our calculations here don't include the time value, energy costs, and additional ingredients required to cook the meals. How these graphs were created. Global prices. So they're comparing the global prices of the two things. So fucking what? Honest to God, I'm not against looking for something to be upset about in shit like this, but I honestly don't get it. I don't know how that's elitist for them to make the comparison between, using the protein price comparison for the Thanksgiving meal. Turkey or tofurkey? Like, this is a reasonable question to ask in family preparations. Aw, hi Chip, hi buddy. My girl's gonna bring Chip in to say hi. He was laying on me earlier. Hi buddy. Oh my gosh, look at this fella. I got a chip on my shoulder. Hi. I'll be along in a moment. I'm just doing some economic math.
I'm meeting at 6.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I'll try and finish before then, so I'm not yelling in the background. Love you. Hi, Chip. Hi, buddy. What doing? Did you have a nice nap on my leg earlier? Did you? While I was studying? You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Here you go. You want to hop down? Or you want to lay here? You can, you'll sit across my arm, but this is going to make you, he's going to go for my headphones. There you go. When I drop him, he runs out the door and then he attacks something and then just kind of stays out there for a little bit. So it's a new habit. And everybody says, hi, Summer. Hello. All right. So, I'm sorry. He was bullshitting us all about prices with the year-over-year lie.
Soy-based also lowers your testosterone level, which of course is the entire point of this. But it's just...
Is it? Oh, I see. I didn't realize you consumed that much soy. So, all right. So this is the whole hidden message of this. Leaders, why are you complaining? Is that what they said? Is that what they said in this one when they were simply just doing a price comparison for Thanksgiving meals? Economic data since 1991, the Fred tools. This is a blog on the Fred. Fredblog.stlouisfed.org. This is about relative prices. Because some people eat tofurkey and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so this is the price comparison between the two. And it's, this is all just a plot to lower your testosterone. And by the way, is it lost on anyone that Josh Hawley is Garsh Hawley is going on the news talking about how men and manliness and manly, there's no manly men anymore while they're manlying, while he's built like he's made out of pipe cleaners. And then at the same time, it's the St. Louis Fed on their blog that's saying this, which is the state he represents in the Senate, and the accusation that between the Fed and Garsh Hawley, the whole point of getting you to eat tofurkey is to lower your testosterone level. Jesus.
Of course, being soy-based also lowers your testosterone level, which of course is the entire
point. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. Swanson home dinner soy content. Swanson, if you want to take your soy in pill form, they got it for you. Soy isoflavones, there you go. And look, and it's cheap too, cheaper than rubber gloves. That's what's great. Have some ads, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Moon River. No, I don't think they're suppository. I think you take them the old-fashioned way. Swanson food. Let's see. Swanson chicken a la king is made with white meat. I'm sure he would be very proud. Oh, look, here's Swanson soy powder. What? It's out of stock. They're out of it. It's unbelievable. How can they be out? Terrible. My God. Customer reviews aren't very good. Let's see. Campbell's Who invented the TV dinner? The Swanson brothers. How to make easy pepper steak with Campbell's soup. Let's see. Meatloaf dinners. Let's see. Meatloaf dinners. Let's see what it has in it. Look at that. What's not to like? Product info, cooking instructions, nutrition facts, ingredients. Here you go. Mashed potatoes. There you go. Salt gravy's got in there. Tomato, modified corn syrup, corn syrup, flavor, sugar, maltodextrin, onion powder, flavors, dry peppers, bell soda, hydrogenated soybean and cottonseed oil. That doesn't seem very good. Enriched flour, natural flavors, monosodium glutamate. There you go. But don't worry, there's some beef fat not far behind. Carrot juice concentrate, hydrolyzed. Oh, I'm sorry. What's this right here? Hydrolyzed. Sorry, excuse me. I didn't. Aren't you a Swanson heir? That's weird. But I'm sure that's the only kind of. Oh wait, textured soy protein concentrate. Hydrogenated soybean oil, soybean oil margarine, contains soy, egg, milk, wheat, and sulfites. That's in the brownie that comes with it. Let's see. Here you go. There's soy protein concentrate. That's in a little bit of everything. Just everything. Beef tallow flavor, which has beef fat and flavors in it. And they're foreign flavors spelled with a U. But let's see. Guys, to sing hydrogenated soybean and cottonseed oil. Let's get yeast extract. Jalapeno juice solids. Look out. Yeah, high fructose corn syrup, citric acid. Yeah, hydrogenated soybean oil, margarine in there. Okay, from partially hydrogenated soybean and cottonseed oil, that's in there. Let's see, hydrolyzed corn protein. At least there's, that's a switch out. So it's not all fake soy protein. But I'm sorry, you were saying about. Something about putting soy in food was to lower your testosterone or something.
Of this.
Heir to the Swanson frozen dinner fortune.
It's just interesting that the Fed, which is supposed to be focused on keeping inflation under control, that's why we have a Fed, is now telling you what to eat. How did this happen? How long?
Well, that would be a good question if they fucking were. Where in this is the Fed telling you what to eat? Who takes away from this the idea that the Fed is telling you what to eat? Where in the shit would anyone get that idea? To assemble tasty graphs showing the price of traditional Thanksgiving, and today we compare a poultry-based meal with a plant-based meal. Because people are eating like that. The Fed is not telling anyone to eat any fucking thing. These are exercises in global trade and getting you kind of bringing it down to earth so you can so they have shit to blog about. Where is this? You should eat it. It's fucking cheaper is the point they're making for the same amount of protein. The question is it equally good for you or whatever? No, there's not even a suggestion of that. The US FBI told me to eat bacon, yes.
Telling you to eat bugs to stop climate change. Not far from that at all. In the Biden
sorry, who?
Fed is now telling you what to eat. How did this happen? How long till they're telling you to eat bugs to stop climate change? Not far from that at all.
Yes, incredibly far from that. They're not going to make a case for you to eat. They're not making a case for you to eat either way. They're telling like half the families in areas in Missouri, for example, are eating, tofurkey or stuff like that from Whole Foods or actual turkeys, and the pound for pound weight of what protein you're getting and the cost of it and the preparation stuff is that parts of that's left out of the cost, but the actual travel time to get the amount of protein from the farm into your fucking gullet, it equals out about 66 cents versus $1.29. That's all they're telling you. Depends on what you're willing to spend on yourself, largely. But as far as you're bringing up, let's see, bugs for protein. That's hold on. I got it. That's that. There you go. Bulk cricket, barbecued pork, as advertised. Memphis barbecue roasted cricket snack. I'm down. Cricket powder, 100% pure cricket powder. By the way, like carrot and shells, you know, from the backs of bugs or whatever. Mixed bugs, edible bugs. Look at this. You can eat these suckers. There you go. I mean, you're going to be like Bear Grylls snacking. There was a restaurant in LA that shut down, sadly, that served bugs. They had 3 different kinds. They had water bugs, which they would serve scraped out with chicken inside them. And that was really hard. Like, it was a really hard shell. It was like a giant cockroach. But it was like eating a credit card with chicken on it. It was fairly awful. But the salads, they would put Chiang Mai ants on top of it. And the ants themselves make vinegar in their thorax. So it's like oil and vinegar on your, or salt and vinegar on your chips, as it were. And that's the way they did it. And then, of course, they had crickets on a salad, which was actually really gross. I don't, Annie, but you're welcome to. Sorry.
Administration, a host of bureaucratic agencies.
By the way, and the Fed is not telling you to do this, by the way. The Fed is not bringing this up at all. The market is, though. Studies show that cricket protein powder contains about 65.5% protein, and adult crickets provide 13 to 20.3 grams of protein powder per 100 gram serving. Interestingly, some of the species of cricket are complete protein sources, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids in ideal proportions. And that's why this chirps, eat bugs. Where's this guy? There it is. Chocolate cricket protein. You don't even taste it. Like, it's, at this point. Here's why bother with cricket protein when you can just eat the crickets, I guess. And this is why he's saying this too. Like, raw power cricket bar. And for the browning of the earth. All of this stuff, like, it's completely reasonable. Like, you're eating an animal and you're like, ew, and you're like, but a bug isn't? Fuck off. Nobody anybody who slaughters their own animals or have been through that process thinks eating a cricket that's been fried and ground up into a powder and can be mixed with things that you don't even taste is somehow gross beyond that. But this is his whole thing. Like, we're all going to be eating crickets in a zombie wasteland.
Suddenly in charge of your body, the minute details of your body. What you have for Thanksgiving dinner?
The fuck, again, the paranoia.
The White House believes that OSHA, for example, can tell you what to inject into your body. Get the injection or you're fired. Now, you remember that
get your injection or you're fired. Well, you can get tested also, but we'll ignore that part.
Months ago, the White House was saying the opposite of this. Vaccine mandates are illegal.
I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power. Just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide.
Can we mandate vaccines across the country? No, that's not a role that the federal government, I think.
Right. That's why it's a testing mandate, fucko.
Has the power to make.
We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do.
That's why the mandate is a testing mandate.
Matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
No, definitely not. You don't want to mandate and try and force anyone to take a vaccine. We've never done that. We don't want to be mandating from the federal government to the general population. It would be
from the federal government. Now, if private businesses decide that they don't want unvaccinated people to set foot in there because it's a great way to weed out the assholes, that's up to them.
Possible and not appropriate.
These people are reckless and crazy and dishonest, and the rest of us.
And you're vaccinated, and everybody who works at Fox has to be vaccinated, and it's stricter than most of the businesses in New York, and you can't set foot in the fucking building without being vaccinated.
Put up with it. After all that, after everything you just saw, of course, they mandated the injections. They knew that was illegal.
No. They mandated the testing. The injections are a way of getting out of the testing.
Just as we saw with the eviction ban, they did it anyway. Then the airlines started canceling flights. The healthcare workers disappeared because somehow politicians know more about corona than nurses? How does that work? They did it.
Well, because they're talking about large groups of people and they deal with death statistics that a nurse working locally might not deal with on a day-to-day as she's doing her job in the hospital or doctor's office she works in, that she's not looking at like the incoming statistics from the whole fucking country and people coming in and out of the country. They might be an aerial view that they might be aware of in a way that acutely people in Memphis, Tennessee, who work at one hospital might not be aware of.
They ran out of truck drivers to pick up goods from airports. First responders were fired. You couldn't get an ambulance. And Joe Biden stands up at a town hall and says they had it coming.
I'm sorry. You can't get an ambulance in the United States? Where can't you get an ambulance, Tucker? Well, let's see. Lack of ambulances. My mom is calling. She's FaceTiming me. I will call her back because I love you guys, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Sharon Gless is on right now. Oh, starting right now. She's promoting her book on Stars in the House, promoting her books, starsinthehouse.com. So I will, as soon as I finish this, in a couple seconds, I'm going to jump off quickly and you guys can go over to starsinthehouse.com and tell them I sent you. And support Sharon Gless and the selling of her book, if that's cool.
Yeah, the little people are getting uppity. We're going to hurt them, and he definitely hurt them. So this is brazen.
He did? He definitely hurt them? He did?
We're very tired of it. It's not a partisan question. Do you want to live in a functional country, or don't you?
Yeah, it's not a bizarre binary choice at all.
The question is, how are we going to survive 3 more years of this? It's a very good question.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
Yeah, why not just bail out? How are we going to survive 3 more years of this? Oh, that's a terrible question. That's anyways, click. That's honestly, that's the end of the video. Ugh. And I would like to remind you, as people are throwing these things around, when anybody starts talking about inflation, if you really want to irritate them in this whole conversation, they're going like, oh my God, stuff is up like 20%. And just say, well, year over year. And watch them backpedal and sidestep trying to explain themselves, if they even understand the difference. Because last year, no one was going anywhere, and they were culling herds and plowing under crops because we were all staying home. There was no one to process the food. So the cost of food collapsed like a lot of other things, including gas. And now it's going back up as a compensatory, to a compensatory price to solve for that lack of cost last year. But even in that, it's still a minor tick up, if at all, from the year before. In some cases, it's a tick down, as we showed in the 2019 case.